Folks, welcome to Real Truth. My name is Howard Real. It's Thursday, June 13th, and there are things happening that you need to know about. Here's one of them, item from Breitbart. Rio Grande Valley Sector Border Patrol agents arrested a Mexican national with a history of immigration violations for allegedly carrying a Molotov cocktail as he crossed the boundary near Roma, Texas. Border Patrol agents working near Roma came upon a Mexican national who had allegedly crossed illegally from his home country. Agents found the 53-year-old man hiding in the brush with a homemade gasoline bomb, Valley Central CBS4 reported this week. Authorities told the news outlet agents found Joel Salinas Garcia, a Mexican national, with a glass container filled with gasoline and a cloth stuffed in the top of the bottle, the news outlet reported. Officials said the situation could have turned deadly, unquote. Well, the situation has turned deadly. People sneaking into our country through Mexico have murdered, raped, driven drunk, robbed, stolen. No one is saying any longer that there's no crisis on the border. Everyone acknowledges there's a crisis on the border, and we frankly are not doing nearly enough to stop it. We talk, we go on news shows, cable networks, we yammer about it. The Democrats do absolutely nothing. And the illegals continue to pour into our country. Now, I don't know where this guy was going with a Molotov cocktail. I promise you he wasn't going to have a barbecue. He was planning on burning someone to death. Maybe you, maybe your children. It's got to stop. Item also from Breitbart. Hunter Biden, the son of former Vice President and 2020 White House frontrunner Joe Biden, secretly married last month amid heightened scrutiny of his business ties to China's communist government, according to a report out Wednesday. TMC says that Biden, 49, married South African-born Melissa Cohen on May 16th in Los Angeles. The couple was married by an LA minister who runs an instant marriage company, which makes us think Uncle Joe and the rest of the fam were not there, the gossip media outlet reports. The news comes on the heels of reports that Hunter split with Hallie Biden, who was the widow of his late brother, Beau. Yeah, I'm going to read that last sentence again in case it didn't sink in. The news comes on the heels of reports that Hunter Biden, split with Hallie Biden, who was the widow of his late brother, Beau. Hunter's 22-year marriage to his ex-wife, Kathleen, ended in divorce in April 2017. So now he's involved intimately with his dead brother's widow. Yeah, this is a family I want in the White House, by all means. Item from jihadwatch.org. A white German man screamed out in pain as he lay bleeding on the sidewalk after he was suddenly smashed over the head by a Muslim migrant, yelling, "This is for Afghanistan." The video can be seen, but a word of warning, it's disturbing. Such violence by jihadists and Islamic supremacists is rampant globally and is increasing in Western nations, but then they call us Islamophobic. And prepare against them whatever you're able of power and of steeds of war, by which you may strike terror into the hearts of the enemy of Allah and your enemy, and others besides them whom you do not know, whom Allah knows. That's from Quran 860. Folks, I don't know why America wants to destroy itself. There are millions of people in this country who hate their own nation. Must hate themselves and their own families because they're wantonly, intentionally bringing destruction down upon the United States of America. Whether it's illegals from South or Central America to jihadists, we have an awful lot of people coming into our country and into countries in the West in general who absolutely despise the West and want to cause mayhem. Now, in a civilized world, in a sane, rational world, we'd have had that wall up a long time ago. And we'd know everybody and everything about them that comes into our country. As it is, we're still allowing people from Africa to come in here who have not been checked for disease. Just yesterday, I was yelling about Ebola being rampant in the Congo, and Congolese citizens are arriving here and being dispersed out into the country. It is sheer suicide. And it's happening every day. Item from the Sun. The U.S. says it's highly likely that Iran is behind the quote-unquote torpedo attack on an American-linked oil tanker in the Gulf of Oman today. Both the Front Altair and the Panama-flagged Kokuka Courageous, which was reportedly bombed, burst into flames and were forced to evacuate in the troubled region this morning. I cannot answer the question, which you may ask, and I think you're legitimately asking. I cannot answer the question, why does Iran still exist? They've been threatening us and Israel and others with nuclear genocide for years now, and they still exist. No, I don't know why. I do know that if I were in charge, they wouldn't exist anymore. Once again, the self-destructive urge, and maybe this is really the central chord that goes through my entire show, these nearly 11 years. The self-destructive chord, the stain, the pollutant in the American soul that's eating away corrosively at this nation. If you know why it's happening, call me and tell me. 877-254-7524. Why do so many Americans hate America? Why are so many Americans trying everything they can to destroy this great country? I'm at a loss. If you have some insights, I'd love to hear them. So call me up. 877-254-7524. When we come back, we're going to go to cyberspace. We're going to listen to a woman describing a jihad in Minneapolis from Somali Muslims. What's that you say? You haven't heard anything about that? Right. I know you haven't. That's a big part of the tragedy. Thursday, Real Truth. Be right back.
Traffic, bills, or just plain cabin fever. Come fly fish the North Platte River with trout getting the dock. Hi, Brian here, trout getting the dock. 970-460-8873 or visit our website at troutgetting.com. Servicing the whole North Platte River with Northgate Canyon and Cat. Come target the aggressive rainbow system floating in the dairy section of the river. 4 hours north of Denver. Book a trip at troutgamers.com. 70-460-8873. Very beginner friendly. Approximately 8 hours on a trip. Prices include season products, beer, fish for food and food. Call about discounts for beds specific to you. You staring out the window daydreaming about spring, your lush green yard and backyard barbecue. Don't blink. Before you know it, you'll be knee-high in grass. Don't let the HOA come pounding on your door. Don't see that guy. Call Turf Gamers Landscaping at 970-460-TURF or visit our website at turfgamerslandscaping.com. We will get your yard in tip-top shape. Specializing in maintenance and install of commercial and residential properties. We pride ourselves in our clean-cut and approachable crew to work efficiently and quickly each property. Visit our website at turfgamerslandscaping.com. Our install crew can transform your backyard into the outdoor living space you always dreamed of. Call me, Brian, at 970-460-TURF for a free walkthrough and estimate so we can meet and discuss the best options for your landscaping needs. Family-owned and locally operated, we've been serving Northern Colorado for over 18 years. Thank you for your support and supporting K60.
Join us and don't miss a moment of the Alex Jones Show, your #1 source for real independent media. Find out what the mainstream media does. InfoWars is pro-America, pro-family, pro-freedom. We are rebooting 1776. Exclusive reports, live coverage, information. information you won't find anywhere else. Tomorrow's news today. Stay informed by listening to KHNC 1360 AM. The Alex Jones Show on KHNC, the heart of Northern Colorado.
All right, folks, welcome back to Real Truth. One of my favorite movies is Aliens. It's the sequel to the original Alien, and it's from back in 1989. And if you remember the movie, there's some corporate type who's working covertly to empower the aliens who are trying to kill him and his friends on some distant planet. And Sigourney Weaver, who's the hero of the movie, realizes what he's doing. He says, at least the aliens, they're doing what they're doing. They're killing us, but they're doing it in order to propagate, in order to survive. They're not doing it for a percentage. People trying to bring down this country are doing it for a percentage, completely oblivious to the fact that they will be destroyed together with the rest of us. Now, here's a young woman, and I don't know her name. I'm sorry. It's on YouTube. I already posted it on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. Lives in Minneapolis, and she's going to describe a jihad committed by Somali Muslims in Minneapolis. Okay. She's also going to talk about the fact that there's no news coverage about it. The media, which keeps a lid on such things, is just like that guy, that corporate guy in Aliens. They want their percentage, not understanding that they're setting fire to their own boat in the middle of the ocean. Anyway, she's got lots of facts. Let's listen. Here we go. They see what's happening, and they whisper about it. Shh, they whisper. Because they're afraid of being called names. Okay. Well, my name is Howard Real. You can call me whatever you want, and I don't whisper. When there are outrages being committed, I yell about them to try and wake people up. Wake people up to address the problems and solve them. No whispering on this show. Let's go back to Ms. Hochberg. A jihadi alliance has essentially captured Minnesota. You know, there's a part of me that wants to print that out and hang it up somewhere so people can see it. Captured Minnesota. Let's keep listening. They are covering for the jihadis. Let that line sink in. A gang of Somali youths, teenagers, armed with hammers, attacking people. And the local newspaper either won't report it or will misreport it, misidentify the perpetrators. If I'm not mistaken, the newspaper did indeed identify these people as angry carpenters because they had hammers. Good Lord. Keep going, babe. All right, folks, if it's okay with you, I'm going to skip past the police report because I heard it and I couldn't understand it. Let's go a little bit forward, shall we? Now, Alpha News, I don't know if you've ever heard of it. It's not CNN. It's not MSNBC. It's not ABC, CBS, NBC. None of the majors. Alpha News is a tiny little news organization. They are reporting this. The majors are not. Now think about this. Hold on a second. Hang on. People came here from Somalia. Why? Well, if you ask them, they probably, if they speak English, they'd probably tell you they were fleeing persecution. And of course, they are grateful to the United States for taking them in and providing safe sanctuary. Exactly how grateful are they? They're attacking people on the streets, Americans, with hammers. So, were they really being persecuted, or are they here not just to get welfare and other free stuff, but to wage an internal jihad as part of an invading Muslim army that's coming in dribs and drabs for years now and has gotten a foothold here and wants to conquer this country, as they say openly they do, in the name of Islam? Why am I the only one yelling? A minute later, you know what's the sickest thing? University of Minnesota campus. If you were to tell this story to students and faculty at the University of Minnesota, they'd probably say something like, wait, safe space, I can't listen to this, you're a racist. How dare you insult Somali refugees? That's undoubtedly what they would say. Unless they themselves had been hit in the face with a hammer wielded by one of these Somali punks. All right, folks, years ago, I lived in Kingston, Pennsylvania. And I've talked about this before. And there was a rash of attacks against college girls. It's part of Wilkes-Barre, right next door, is a college town. One attacker was identified as a black male. Outrage, screaming, fighting. How could you be racist, they said. How could you identify him as black? She is attacked by a young male. Well, that's okay, but if you want students to know who to watch out for, if you want students to know who's a potential threat, you've got to identify what the guy looks like, right? Well, nowadays you can't because it's racist, and so college girls were left vulnerable to further attacks because unless they heard that news report, they weren't going to hear a description of the attacker. You see, when Donald Trump was running for president, said, we need to vet people coming into this country. We need maximum vetting. We need to know exactly who they are and what they're doing. He was called a racist. He was called an Islamophobe. And so we don't vet people coming here. And so we get little demons like these teenagers, Muslims, Somalis, running around hitting people with hammers. Now, the police showed up and arrested them. What if the police showed up and shot them in the head? I know, Constitution. I get it. But this is an extraordinary threat. Maybe it requires an extraordinary response. We'll be back.
Before hiring a realtor from a big corporation who outsources their jobs and pays little to no taxes, ask yourself what you really want in a realtor. You need a realtor who is honest and has integrity. A realtor who is focused on the client's bottom line, not the realtor's bottom line. Who provides personable, over-the-top service before, during, and after the transaction. You want a realtor that knows how to market your property. Hi, I'm James Morgan, a realtor with Grisham & Associates, LLC. I am your Colorado real estate specialist. Land deals, mountain cabins, or urban dwellings, I've got you covered. For the first-time home buyer, we will make it the best experience. If you are looking to move up or downsizing, we will do better than your last transaction. Call me today at 720-203-0731 or visit coloradoproperties.online. Let me do a great job for you. I'm Ryan. That's Mitigator. You're worried about 5G wireless cell towers in your area? You want to of your home or office? What about powerful investment department? That's Mitigator and the West. Our CSPR network. And 2011, the International Heat Research on Cancer classified video breaking other parts of it, parts that led and how people good could by talking and 970-334-14. And as you heard about it on tape,
profit for $99. Discover what may be affecting your remote environment. Call me at today, 970-300-3414. Open 24 hours a day.
Why does it seem America is slowly sinking? Whose fault is it? It's not the Obamas or the Clintons. It's not Republicans or Democrats. It's not corporations, the military, or foreign countries. It's the Federal Reserve, a central banking system made up of private bankers that corrupt and control virtually all aspects of the world's money supply and the economy. All of the major problems in the world can be traced to the Federal Reserve and central banks of other countries. Hi, I'm Jason with the Colorado Front Range News Hour. Catch my show with co-host Brian here on KHNC Freedom 4, Monday through Friday. We sell gold and silver, the best way to protect your hard-earned money. Call 800-951-0592 and keep those blood-sucking bankers out of your wallet.
All right, welcome back to Real Truth. Howard Real, your host. And yes, the author of Real Truth, Stay Angry. If you haven't gotten your copy yet, you'd better hurry. Go online, virtualbookworm.com. Get yourself a copy. You will love it, and you will thank me for having written it. That's a prophecy. Now, I mentioned before the cable TV is not reporting the things we need to know about. That's one of the reasons cable TV is dying. It is starving to death. It is circling the bowl, and here is Glenn Beck to tell us about it. Go, Glenn.
So,
Now, here's a spoiler. The reason for the big drops at CNN is because America's realizing more and more every day that CNN is crap. It's garbage. It's lies. It's fake news. It's propaganda. It's spin. And who in his right mind wants that?
now that's the good news.
Guys, you ever see the movie Fantastic Four? Yeah, I know, it sucked. I know. The first one. I'm talking about the first one. Came out about, I don't know, 10 years ago? Something like that. Jessica Alba played Sue Storm. It really blew. Okay. But there's one scene when the Fantastic Four are on a bridge in New York. I guess it was a Manhattan Bridge. And the Thing, Ben Grimm, is standing there. Here's this monster made of rock. And he's standing there and he turns around and a truck plows into him. Only Ben Grimm, the Thing, doesn't move. The truck crunches up against him, but doesn't budge him an inch. It folds like an accordion, the truck does, because the Thing was so powerful. That truck is CNN and MSNBC. They have slammed up against Donald Trump, and they're accordioning. They're being crushed. They're coming apart. Because Donald Trump is like a superhero who cannot be budged. Part of it is because Trump is made of iron. Part of it is the fact that he comes with truth. And you can't beat truth in an open forum. You can't defeat truth in an open fight. And so all the people who've gone up against Trump to try and take him out have themselves been destroyed. And now it's CNN's turn. They have flung themselves, metaphorically speaking, at Donald Trump full speed. And it's like they hit a brick wall. Let's keep listening for a minute.
Hello?
I'm sorry, I made a mistake. When he said a buttload, I thought he was talking about Mayor Pete Buttigieg, but that's neither here nor there. The bottom line is this: Americans want truth. We demand truth. And more than ever, when we realize we're being lied to, we turn our backs on those media outlets. CNN is not long for this world, and that is a very, very, very good thing.
Bigfoot? A trustworthy politician? Who thought? Yeah, those things are all pretty hard to find. Lucky for you, at least a great mover is. What a proving crafty for a greatly admired area of quality roofing for a decade. We are in the morning for contracting, offering our customers the best service and the highest quality roofing material available on home. Our installers have decades of experience to make sure your new roof is installed with care, quality, craftsmanship. We also offer a 5-year workmanship warranty for all systems at 5.1 for no price. Acclaimed Roofing is always available to handle any issue that may arise. Acclaimed Roofing, family service call us today at 303 303-469-0808. That's 303-469-0808. Information you won't find anywhere else. The Alex Jones Show, right here on KHNC, the heart of Northern Colorado, KHNC.
My friends, welcome back to Real Truth. Some of you might be old enough to remember the name Robert De Niro. He used to be an actor back in the 70s and the 80s. Somewhere in the 90s, he just kind of became invisible, hasn't done anything noteworthy since then, except get on the news. Turns out he's an especially irascible anus. And he goes out in public screaming obscenities that I cannot and will not repeat on this show. And I don't know, maybe he's trying to recapture some of his former glory or trying to stay relevant or cool. Or maybe he's just got mental problems. I have no idea. But he spoke at a commencement recently, and of course he trashed the president because he's a liberal Hollywood nitwit, an especially obnoxious one. Anyway, here's Dennis Miller on Fox News talking about Robert De Niro. The first voice you hear is going to be De Niro, and then we're going to go to an interview with Dennis Miller. So listen up.
The country's gone crazy. In movie terms, when you started school, the country was an inspiring, uplifting drama. You're graduating into a tragic, dumbass comedy.
Yeah, that was Dennis. That was actor Robert De Niro. The commencement speech there at Brown University says the country's degenerated into a comedy. Dennis Miller is with us. Is this one of the reasons why you tune things out these days, Dennis?
It sure is. Ironically, I never thought it would come around to this full circle. When I hear Robert De Niro begin to speak now, I turn my back to him and look over my shoulder and say, "You talking to me? You talking to me?"
Yeah, right. I remember that.
That's where it's come to with Robert De Niro. Listen, I don't find it to be a tragic comedy, as he says. I find it to be more tragic, and I think that's what he means too. I think they try to leaven the accusation sometime by saying that it's a tragic comedy. I just think it's a bit of a tragedy, and when I watch people like him, I hear you get angry sometimes when you play these things and you say, "I don't care. I don't care what you say, Robert De Niro," and it makes me angry. But I'm to the point now, Stuart, where I don't care. Simply, I don't care. I've trained myself out of caring about this sort of sperm and drag. It's hard, but it's doable. You should start with the NFL. The NFL's gotten weird over the last 5 years. It's anything but a sport now. You tune out there. Now, it took me a couple years, but now I don't even order it anymore. I use Robert De Niro's bleatings as a reverse mantra. I don't listen, I don't listen, I don't listen. I begin to stray mentally, and I begin to hear him. And just as the Maharishi said, I use a gentle manner to bring myself back to not listening to him. I practice my mindfulness through people like his mindlessness. I don't want to hear it every day. I can't live my life like that. And if you participate in it by being the receptor on that constant anger, hate, rage, then you're culpable. I'm not as culpable anymore. I'm not perfect. It's hard to drum yourself out of it completely, but I just don't listen every day.
Now, I don't follow the Hollywood news, but I do know that De Niro is getting divorced. His wife is leaving him. She wants half of all the money he has. So obviously she knows him a lot better than I do, and she has come to the conclusion that he's a loser. And so what conclusion can I come to? Listening to him stridently, obnoxiously for the past 2.5 years, tearing down a president who's doing great things for this country. He is like the loudest, the most obnoxious of all the lame brains in Hollywood. It's like a Hollywood nitwit on steroids, and he's toxic. Like Dennis Miller, I am just sick of hearing him. I don't even want to look at him anymore, even in his classic old movies from the 70s.
Barack Obama was not my cup of tea, but I didn't
All right, guys, I'm going to put this video up on my Facebook page, Real Truth Radio. You can watch the whole thing. It's almost over, but it's worth watching. Dennis Miller, in general, is great. Former liberal who wised up, opened his eyes, opened his ears, and now he's a conservative. And that's what happens when you start learning stuff. We'll take a break and we'll wrap it up for the week right here on Real Truth.
Was your home built between 1965 and 1975? If so, you may have an aluminum wired home. Aluminum wiring safety hazard. These homes are around 50 years old now, and using more electrical power than ever imagined back in the day. An aluminum wire does not get better with time. They are much harder to observe and harder to set up as well. Aluminum wire repair are electricians focus on the permanent mitigation of the aluminum wire hazard. Call them for a free inspection now. Aluminum wire repair. 720-299-4706. Or visit their website at alwirerepair.com. Don't walk away from a home you're planning on buying just because it has aluminum wire. Let them help you. Your safety is their business. They are 8 rates with a better business service. Call them today. 720-299-4706. Or visit their website at alwirerepair.com. I think this team America is slowly sinking. Whose fault is it? It's not the Obamas or the Clintons, not Republicans or Democrats. It's not corporations, the military, or foreign countries. It's the Federal Reserve, a central banking system made up of private bankers that corrupt and control virtually all aspects of the world's money supply and economy. All of the major problems in the world can be traced to the Federal Reserve and central banks of other countries. Hi, I'm Jason with the Colorado Front Range News Hour. Catch my show with co-host Brian here on KHNC 3 to 4, Monday through Friday. We sell gold and silver, the best way to protect your hard-earned money. Call 800-951-0592 and keep those blood-sucking bankers out of your wallet. Higher rates, lower rates, negative rates, bail-ins, bail-outs, and so much more. You know why you need to own gold and silver. At the Patriot Trading Group, we're a different kind of company. We have no commission salespeople, no boiler room sales calls, no high-price spokesmen. We believe in treating you with honesty and respect and delivering you the best products at the best price. Buying or selling, call us at 800-951-0592 or go to our website at allamericangold.com.
And item from Breitbart, President Trump's Department of Homeland Security released about 8,500 border crossers and illegal aliens into the interior of the United States over the past 8 days. Federal data confirms. That's over 1,000 a day, my friends. Your new neighbors. Item from the American Mirror. Candy Sidibaka won a runoff race last week against former Denver City Council President Albus Brooks, and she did it by promising to implement communist policies, quote, by any means necessary, unquote. Folks, I take people by their word. When Candy Sidibaka says she's going to implement communist policies by any means necessary, to me that includes illegal means. So keep an eye on this chick. If she breaks the law, let's sick the law on her. Item from the College Fix. A pair of Texas bills on campus sexual harassment are sitting on Republican Governor Greg Abbott's desk. The two bills set a definition of sexual harassment that mirrors the Obama administration's view of Title IX. Okay? The definition literally says unwelcome sex-based words constitute harassment if they are sufficiently severe, persistent, or pervasive to interfere with the student's study. So now you say the wrong word and you will be arrested. If that becomes law, let's hope Governor Abbott is smarter than that. Item from Breitbart. Border crossers and illegal aliens are being released into the interior of the United States without going through basic medical examinations and disease tests, Acting Department of Homeland Security Secretary Kevin McAleen admits. Folks, people are coming here from Africa, possibly with Ebola. Not only aren't we keeping them out, we're letting them in and not bothering to check their health. Item from Breitbart. Presidential candidate Pete Buttigieg on Tuesday called for voter ID laws to be banned as part of his plan to, quote, safeguard democracy for black Americans, unquote. My friends, how can you possibly have open and fair representative elections if you have no way of confirming who the hell is voting? Item from Breitbart again. Nearly 740,000 border crossers and illegal aliens are expected to be released into the interior of the United States this calendar year. 740,000 illegals. You're going to be paying their way through life. It's very nice of you. Oh, item from the End of the American Dream blog. Once again tonight, countless numbers of Americans will sleep in their vehicles, and this is becoming a problem getting worse with each passing year. According to the Department of Housing and Urban Development, the homeless population in the U.S. hit 552,830 last year in 2018. Many believe the true number is actually a lot higher, because in order to accurately count the homeless, first you have to be able to find them, and many homeless do not want to be found. Even if the HUD figure is accurate, it's still a great national tragedy to have such a high number of homeless and a large percentage of those homeless Americans living in their vehicles. My friends, I don't know what to tell you. So let me just tell you this. I'll be back on Monday. I hope you will too. More real truth. In the meantime, stay safe, stay healthy, stay angry.